never reacted to a video on this channel, but this title and thumbnail got me. The Mutated Animals of Chernobyl.
Something about this forest feels off. Pines twist into bizarre shapes. Spider webs hang crooked and uneven. Red firebugs are crawling on the ground, but the patterns on their backs are warped.
You know what I'm thinking, chat? We can't let these niggas
flies
escape.
Overhead.
These radioactive animals. We gotta.
There's a reason for all this. This forest sits inside a highly radioactive exclusion zone. It's one of the most contaminated places on Earth. Not far from here, the largest nuclear disaster.
They're already free? I'm saying take away their freedom. Let's take away the freedom. Nigga, a bomb dropped on here. They had a radioactive leak. They shouldn't. We gotta put a dome over them like that one Simpsons movie. Let's put a dome over these niggas in Chernobyl. There's nobody there. It's just animals.
History happened in 1986.
A nuclear accident in the Soviet Union, and the Soviets have admitted that it happened.
Deadly radiation is being released from...
Thousands died from the radiation's immediate and long-term effects.
They
For
get
humans,
nuked, but they
the
just had a
area
leak.
remains mostly uninhabitable until today.
The solution
But
is to
nature
double down.
stayed. Plants and animals, wolves, deer, wild horses, birds, and insects. But the radiation changed them.
Huh? Changed how? People live in Chernobyl? Cat.
Spring 1986, in the dead of the night. Reactor 4 at the Chernobyl nuclear...
Yo, I watched a documentary for this, and it was some of the scariest shit ever. If you ever want to see some really butt-clenching shit, go watch how this shit happened, bro. It's like just pure negligence, bro. Just absolutely not giving a single fuck about safety protocols for so long that, like, just... It's scary, bro.
Their power plant has just exploded. Massive amounts of highly radioactive material like iodine and cesium are hurled into the air. The radiation seeps into the cells of all living things in the
HBO.
area.
Yeah, I think that's the one I watched.
Including this deer. 30 minutes after the blast, it's dizzy and barely able to stay on its feet. The radiation has burned the mucosal tissue inside its digestive tract. Cells all across its body start dying. Blood circulation in the brain falters. And since the blood can't flow properly, pressure builds inside the skull. The deer's blood pressure crashes, it suffers seizures, and multiple organs fail. The next day, the deer is dead.
That happened in one day?
In the following days and weeks, the pine needles change color. First to yellow, then to red. Trees die for kilometers around, giving the area a new name. The Red Forest.
Ooh, that's a tough name.
A few kilometers away, a shepherd dog lives in the town of Pripyat. For the past day, it's been feeling unwell, tired and nauseous. Its owners are worried. They too feel under the weather, though they don't know why. Then a voice crackles over the radio with an announcement.
Внимание, внимание! Уважаемые товарищи! Городской совет народных депутатов.
Residents are informed about an accident at the nearby nuclear plant, but they are assured everything is under control. Just to be safe, people are told to leave town for 3 days, and to leave their pets behind.
Think of nightmares? You know what's crazy? Not to make this about me. I live beside a nuclear power plant. Once I left university, I moved back. I lived in a city called Ajax, and they have a power plant there. In fact, it's in Pickering, technically. There's a power plant on the beach, which is weird. But because I lived right beside it, the housing prices were cheaper because people thought there's a power plant nearby. What if it blows up one day? So I got cheaper prices on my home when I left university because it was right beside a power plant.
Family assumes they'll be back soon, so they leave enough food for the dog
Ajax
for
in
a
the Netherlands,
few days.
Ajax east of
But the
Toronto.
Soviet authorities are lying. They're doing everything in their power to cover up a nuclear disaster of unprecedented scale. Like tens of thousands of others, this family will never return. Their dog is on its own now.
No wonder you're fried. Nigga, there wasn't a leak.
3 days later...
In fact, did I not take a photo? I was there 2 days ago. Like, literally exactly where the power plant was. I'm an L man for not taking a photo. What the fuck is wrong with me, dude? Dude, what the fuck? What the fuck is fucking wrong with me, man?
The food is gone. On the 4th day, he leaves the house, hungry and searching for anything.
They left their
to
dog?
eat. He encounters other dogs wandering the empty streets.
Aww.
They too were abandoned and left behind.
Aww.
Suddenly, shots are fired. The Soviet authorities have ordered police to kill all stray dogs.
Why?
In an attempt to stop the animals from spreading radioactive material.
To who?
The dogs flee into the forest. Just like all the other animals here, they find themselves in the heart of the world's largest nuclear exclusion zone. Radiation remains dangerously high for months. Many animals develop chronic radiation sickness. Blood pools in their livers and spleens. Lymph nodes swell. Thyroids fail.
You know what's crazy, Chad? All we need to make the threat of radioactive shit not feel so crazy is an antidote. That's all we need, bro. If we could just figure out a way to get an antidote to radioactive material giving everybody cancer, we'll be fine. Right? Because then you just have to be out the blast radius and you're good. There isn't one. Yeah, but with the... Okay, if AI is going to be good for one thing, it's going to be advancements in medical technology, okay? For better and for worse. It's not poison. We can't cure cancer yet. We can't cure cancer yet.
The animals grow thin, and many die. Over the next 10 years, radiation levels drop significantly. The only humans left are workers and guards looking
Someone's
after
always
the
gonna
ruins
want to
of
profit
the
off
nuclear
it.
plant. Beyond that, the area is almost completely abandoned.
True.
In this vast and empty space, wildlife can spread freely. Over the years, the zone evolves into one of Europe's largest nature reserves. Countless animals settle in, bears and lynx, moose and foxes, and multiple packs of wolves.
It's radioactive, though.
Even some of the original residents remain. Hundreds of street dogs, descendants of the pets left behind, roam the area. Swallows skim over the treetops. Frogs leap through the undergrowth.
How are they still alive?
And they are all followed by their silent companion, the radiation.
Is it slowly killing them?
The first thing you notice are the eyes.
One of the first signs of exposure to radiation is something called cataract in the eye. It's a cloudiness of the lens of the eye that happens to people who are exposed to higher levels of radiation.
That's Timothy Mousseau. He's a biology professor at the University of South Carolina. Few people know the creatures of Chernobyl as well as he does. He's talking to us from a research ship in the middle of the Pacific, studying the effects of nuclear weapon testing on wildlife.
We've had many exciting visits to Chernobyl. I've been going to Chernobyl pretty much 2 or 3 times a year, sometimes 4 times a year.
A so-called cataract is a clouding of the lens in the eye. It's a common disease in humans known as gray star. It blurs the vision, and its most severe form can cause total blindness. The high radiation levels in Chernobyl cause many animals to develop cataracts. The landscape itself has changed too. This is what a natural pine forest looks like. Green needles.
Why would you go
straight
to
trunks.
study, bro? He's doing it for
And
us.
This is what a pine forest looks like in the most contaminated areas of Chernobyl. This trunk is twisted, stunted, and misshapen. The wood has changed its color. If you look closely at the rings, you can see exactly when the disaster happened. Near the base, there are these strange clusters of tangled leaves called witches' brooms. This forest doesn't just look eerily strange. It's a stark reminder of what our actions can do to nature. Seeing it can make you feel powerless, but it doesn't have to be that way. Planet Wild is a community-based environmental protection organization. Think of it as crowdfunding for nature. Every month, their community funds a carefully selected rewilding project. Planet Wild documents nature in Forage, or Planet Wild's Right for You, covered by us. Normally, they're neat and symmetrical like this. But here, in Chernobyl's most contaminated areas, the gaps in the strands are far too large. The patterns
Charities
are
do
warped
ads?
and chaotic. This is what a
Wait, so we can go there? I mean, I don't know why you'd want to be in fucking Ukraine anyway right now.
swallow usually looks like. Note the distinctive combination of blue-black feathers and a red face. This one from Chernobyl has white patches on its face. Its tail feathers are crooked and its beak deformed, stuck slightly open. A lump protrudes beneath its plumage. A tumor. Many changers are not visible from the outside. You can't see that this swallow will live a shorter life and have lower chances to
Adapt went back in the
successfully
day? Did he
reproduce. Red firebugs are native to Central Europe. Their vibrant red and black coloring with its symmetrical patterns helps ward off potential predators. But Chernobyl firebugs are different. The patterns on their backs are warped and asymmetrical. Some are missing an eye, and the fine black lines
It's crazy.
are
How
blurred.
does radiation have the
All of
ability
these
to do all
changes
of that?
trace back to mutations in the genetic code. This is where the DNA is stored.
mutations in the what? It really mutates your genetic code, my nigga? It can mutate the genetic code of trees? Come on, bro. Well, trees are living things too, but still. What the fuck?
The blueprint for the insect's entire organism. DNA is made up of two strands, twisted together in a shape called a double helix. It's made up of base pairs. The genetic information is stored in the sequence of these bases, kind of like a computer carrying information using ones and zeros. Several of those bases form a gene. The body reads the sequence through complex molecular processes. Genes act as a blueprint. They determine how the bug looks, the pattern on its back, and
So
what
it
it can
changes the
and cannot
blueprint.
digest. They also influence how long it lives, its vulnerability to certain diseases, and even its behavior. Scientists believe these blueprints make up only a tiny fraction of our DNA. Studies in humans suggest that around 8 to 15% of DNA are functional and actively doing something important. Radioactive atoms like uranium and cesium are unstable. They decay spontaneously, releasing
shit.
radiation. That radiation carries so much energy it can damage living cells the moment it makes contact.
That's
It
aging?
can break DNA directly or split the water molecules in a cell. This creates smaller particles called free radicals. These free radicals then rip through the DNA. Base pairs can be swapped or deleted entirely, or the entire DNA strand can break apart.
When radiation hits the DNA, it damages it. Most of the time the damage is repaired, but often if there's enough radiation, this damage will persist. Sometimes it will lead to a disease like a cancer or a tumor or some other developmental problem.
Many of these mutations have no effect. The body either
when
repairs
they
them
have
or they
babies, the
occur in
DNA
parts
is
of the
fucked on the
DNA
baby
that don't
too,
serve
right?
an important function. But sometimes those repairs go wrong, and that's when lasting changes can happen, like the ones we see in Chernobyl. These changes can even be passed down to future generations.
Man, the guy, he's answering all my questions right now.
But some of the animals around Chernobyl aren't just mutated. They seem to have adapted and are thriving in their new environment.
Huh. Wow. Thriving? With
This
cancer
is a
and
tree
tumors?
frog. Normally tree frogs are
That's
green,
why microwaves are dangerous?
but here in
if
the
you put a cover on your
exclusion
shit, you're
zone,
good, bro.
some of them are pitch black.
Huh?
Pigmentation likely comes from melanin. Melanin is what makes your skin darker in summer.
Frogs?
Your body produces it to shield your skin from sunlight. But melanin can also help protect against other types of radiation. According to a 2022 study, the darkest frogs in Chernobyl were found in areas where radiation levels used to be especially high. So does that mean they've adapted to high radiation?
Does that mean humans could adapt to high radiation? Huh.
Timothy Mousseau is not convinced. He says the data isn't strong enough to prove a causal link.
Frogs in Chernobyl show no relationship between the melanism and radiation level currently. So inside Chernobyl zone, there are light frogs in highly radioactive areas and there are dark frogs in clean areas.
That is just one of the many scientific debates around Chernobyl's wildlife. What can truly be verified and what's too speculative? Both sides hold firmly to their findings. There's another organism that may be putting the
Meanwhile,
benefits
the
of
frog be
melanin
black,
to
though.
work. This black fungus.
Oh, I haven't played it yet, Jake.
One of them grows here,
I'll be
right
open to it,
inside
though.
Reactor 4. One of the most irradiated places on the planet. Radiation levels remain so high that nothing should be able to survive here. And yet, this fungus is thriving. Multiple independent studies suggest that this fungus may actually be using gamma radiation as an energy source, much like plants use sunlight for photosynthesis. Unlike in the frogs, the melanin in this fungus doesn't just block radiation. It seems to convert it into energy, which the fungus then uses to grow. Melanized fungi like this one have been found in other highly radioactive places. Astronauts have even studied it aboard the International Space Station. Researchers hope that one day this fungus could act as a natural shield against radiation, perhaps for space travel. As for the fungi in the reactor, it's still unclear whether they've truly adapted to the radiation or if they were just inherently able to cope with it. Larger mammals may have adapted to radiation exposure as well. At least that's what biologist Tara Love...
we be going fungus. Yo, bro. That's so interesting. Does that mean black people are more resistant to radioactive activity? Something to think about.
And her colleagues at Princeton University believe. They suspect that wolves living in the Chernobyl exclusion zone may be less likely to develop cancer or more resilient to the disease overall, despite constant exposure to high radiation levels. The theory goes like this. Random and spontaneous mutations in DNA make some wolves less vulnerable to cancer. These wolves have a higher chance of survival, while others are more likely to die from the long-term effects of radiation, often from cancer itself. The survivors reproduce. Natural selection happens.
Yeah.
Their offspring inherit the protective genes. Over time, they breed with wolves that are also better adapted to radiation, and so on and so forth. After a few generations, the whole pack is less prone to cancer. Researchers say the wolf's DNA evolved in regions around genes linked to the body's immune response to cancer. But is that actually realistic? The research hasn't been published yet, which means there's no way for us or anyone else to verify it.
What the hell are the scientists doing?
This study and many others have one thing in common. They all suggest that the Chernobyl nuclear disaster may have triggered evolution right before our eyes. Other scientists remain skeptical, including Timothy Mousseau.
We wrote a paper a few years ago where we reviewed all of the literature that had been published on Chernobyl, claiming to test for adaptations and rapid evolution. And in every case, except for maybe one, the data were too weak. They did not have the strength, the scientific strength.
Niggas capping for a click.
To support this
niggas capping for the click.
Of adaptation.
Serious time?
Mousseau has studied potential
Yo,
adaptations
Keith, thank you for
himself.
17 months.
He and his colleagues sampled colonies of certain bacteria in Denmark and at various sites across Chernobyl. The colonies are often found on the wind.
Yo, my mom just texted me saying Jay's lost. It's cause I wasn't there.
Wings of swallows, among other places. Back in the lab, they exposed both sets of bacteria to radiation. Some colonies from Chernobyl actually reproduced better under radiation, especially those that had lived for years in areas with moderate background radiation. By contrast, colonies from Denmark, as well as those from the most highly contaminated parts of Chernobyl, were far less resistant to radiation. Because the experiment was carried out under carefully controlled lab conditions, the researchers are confident that this adaptation wasn't caused by any other environmental factor. To study the animals of the exclusion zone, Timothy Mousseau set up around 100 motion-activated cameras throughout the area. In late 2021, they recorded something strange. Russian soldiers.
It's always the Russians, man. What the fuck do you mean? Why the fuck would Russian soldiers be inside? Oh. Okay. Well, goddamn.
In February 2022, Russia invaded Ukraine. Russian troops occupied the exclusion zone for weeks.
Forgot about that.
Overnight, nearly all research in Chernobyl ground to a halt. Some scientists were forced to flee the zone. When the Russian forces finally withdrew in the spring of 2022, researchers returned to find their work in ruins.
What?
Military vehicles had kicked up radioactive dust. Offices and labs had been ransacked. Computers and valuable equipment were stolen or destroyed.
Yes. Well, who the fuck would want to get in the way of... Why would Russian soldiers want to get in the way of radiation studies and shit like that? What? Nigga, we can all use that, dum-dum. Why would you want to... Do they plan on... That's weird. D-Vibes, thank you for the gift. I appreciate it. Why? Why would all humans should want a fucking solution to nuclear technology and radiation, my nigga? In case there's another leak. Or someone gets dumb enough to drop another bomb.
Long-term surveys were interrupted, and some
Financial
irreplaceable
gain?
research data may be lost forever. Several promising
Bro,
studies
store
were
on the
put on
fucking
hold
cloud,
indefinitely.
bro. What do you mean it's lost
Carol
forever?
Loff and her team never got the chance to return and study the wolves in the field.
Oh
It's
my
a bitter
god, they
blow
had it saved
to
on a
our
fucking
understanding
USB
of
drive,
the
bro.
world. Don't forget to check out
Rookie
Planet Wild
mistake.
and become a member.
That's a rookie mistake, bro. W video. That's a rookie mistake.